guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk about everything that we are getting in the next few days and weeks here regarding two new legendary champions, one brand new legendary, one legendary Drexthar Bloodtwin available in the Bazaar. I'm going to go ahead and tell you all my thoughts on all of this stuff. There's a lot to get to in today's video, so let's go ahead and just jump right to it, kind of covering one item at a time. And it is, let's start with Drexthar here. You can see in patch 2.12, we'll get a new slot in the Bazaar. This should be coming soon, like this weekend, if not this coming week. Fragments for a legendary champion from Demon Spawn faction, Drexthar Bloodtwin. This slot will be available starting from bronze tier, so players in bronze, silver, and gold will eventually be able to accumulate enough champion fragments and summon Drexthar. It's only possible to get one of them. So, here's the deal. The key phrase there is players who eventually are able to accumulate enough champion fragments. It's actually not that bad. You need 100 fragments. I'm not sure if there's a daily limit on these champion fragments. I assume there's not going to be. Otherwise, it's going to take you a while. You need 360 gold bars per fragment. You need 100 fragments, meaning you need 36,000 gold bars to go ahead and buy yourself a champion, a legendary champion, Drexthar Bloodtwin, who in my opinion is a very... maybe slightly above average legendary champion. Certainly not one of the best in the game, but definitely can help the majority of you watching right now on your account, the vast majority. So solid champion. I like that they're adding a way to get a champion in the Bazaar. It is going to take a while, but at the same time, as long as this is permanently available in the game, I actually don't have any issues with this. I have issues with something that we're going to talk about in just a moment, but this, I think it's a value add. It's something that we previously did not have in the game. If they add more legendary champions and keep Drexthar there too, the worst case scenario would be, okay, he's available for 20 days, go, or 10 days, go. Nah, because then that would make it just purely monetize, just not fun, right? Not good for anybody. So as long as he's available permanently, or at least for a long time, talking, you know, a few months at the very least, then I am all for this change. I think it's great. I think it's a great use of the Bazaar. So that remains to be seen. Either way, I'm sure every YouTuber has gone over Drexthar recently. I have a guide on him, I think, as well. If not, he's a solid spider tank and can help you guys out in a variety of different areas. Defense-based champion with HP burn in his kit. So let's go ahead and provoke. Let's go ahead and talk about the other stuff here, right? So there's a lot to get to, as I mentioned. I want to kind of start out today's video by talking about other quick minor changes before we get to the other legendary champion, okay? So it might be hard to see this. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit here. I will, just so it makes it easier for you guys to read along with me here. But I want to touch on a few of these posts, or excuse me, a few of these mentions that came out, yesterday, last night, my time. So 2.12, a smaller patch. It will be fixing arena-centered issues, bugs to improve the game. I'm not going to read this all verbatim. They talk about Drexthar Bloodtwin, and really nothing else new there. But they also talk about purchase cooldown for silver accessory chest. Okay, it will be decreased to 1 day. Not bad. AI is going to be adjusted, so your champion is prioritized using their active skill as opposed to killing a low-level enemy with a basic skills. So they're going to prioritize their active skills as opposed to killing a low-level enemy with basic skills. This should prevent high-end arena defense teams from being confounded by the sneaky tactics of attacking basic common champions along with the trick AI. So what does this all mean? Nothing for 99.9% of you guys. It means that the loophole of having a level 1 champion in your arena team is going to be closed. That affects the majority of like maybe high-end platinum tier arena players. Most of you don't even probably care about this. I honestly don't even care that much, but I'm glad they're fixing these arena issues at the same time, right? I want this game to be fair. Otherwise, why are we playing it? It's already, you could argue it's not fair for everybody depending on how much you spend, but that's another conversation for another video, actually for later on this video. So we'll be adjusting matchmaking logic, to generate your opponent's list in tag team arena. It will now be more balanced, and you should see opponents list populated with a defense closer to your own strength. That's good. I like more balancing. Also, classic arena offense battles will no longer show up in other players' opponents' list. That will close that huge loophole of well, no more exploits for top tier Platinum Arena. Clan Boss, this one is really cool. Starting with 2.12, Clan Boss keys will be subtracted upon a successful completion of the battle, much like Faction War Crypt keys. This should ensure that players no longer lose an important resource due to a technical issue. For example, I've been there before where I get a phone call or something right when I go into Clan Boss battle and I lose that key, okay? Or the game enters maintenance before I even started. It's a minor fix, but still, I'm a big fan of this, right? It should never be the case that you lose a Clan Boss key if you haven't even attacked the Clan Boss, right? Some other bugs kind of fixed here. Tormund's Cold, by the way, the Wintry Wind, the passive, there's been a bug preventing him from triggering it when an opponent's turn meter is filled. I thought kind of this was a low-key nerf. I didn't know it was a bug, I'll be honest with you. So there's going to be a lot more Tormunds inside the arena. Yay. So those are all kind of the AI fixes and the bugs and all that kind of stuff. Now let's talk about the real meat of this video, the new champion. The new champion, you can see they posted a quick reveal here. Who really cares? Because we have the full champion revealed. I will show you all about her. I actually think this champion looks really amazing. So let me go ahead and show you her, guys. It's the good news is I think she's going to help a lot of you. The bad news is, well, we'll talk about the bad news after we talk about her. Here she is real quick. I want to show you really quick. Her name is Kreela Witch-Arm. I want to show you her A2 and her A3, really talk about her kit really quickly because I'll tell you what, it's super solid. It's Kreela, my bad, not Tila. Kreela Witch-Arm, and its attack one enemy, places a stun debuff for 1 turn, has an 80% chance 100 when booked, on a 3-turn when booked, of teaming up with 3 random allies to attack a random enemy. Allies joining the attack will use their default skills. So it's a team attacker with the stun. I think this is an incredibly insane ability. I think it will help a lot of you guys out a lot. Her base stats are pretty solid as well. 1200 defense, 1200 attack, and 1600 on the HP. Places an increased attack buff, a strong version on all allies for 3 turns, then attacks all enemies. Also has the increased crit rate. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. I think this champion is really solid. However, here's the bad news. I'm just going to go ahead and read you off what the Diamond told us content creators about this champion, then we'll talk about it really quickly here. So he said, this champion is going to be available for a fusion. However, instead of using your champions, you'll be fighting for essentially fragments, right? The goal will be fragments for this champion. So the fusion will be based on fragments rather than using your champions to kind of fuse them together to form this champion, just how fusions have always worked inside this game. Now it's going to be about collecting fragments so you can collect all those fragments and fuse them just like we had in the game with fragment summons, with Horden, for example, okay? So that's kind of where we're at with this champion. Let me go ahead and move all this out. So it's going to be collecting the fragments are going to only be able to collect it through events in tournaments, okay? So normally a regular fusion in this game, we get our champions, or we save our duplicate champions, we save all our epic champions, knowing that we're going to need them for future fusions, right? Now it's going to be different. All those champions that we save, all those duplicate champions that we're already complaining about dupes, especially legendaries, but the dupe epics that we save for fusions, it looks like they might be moving away from that. That is a huge monetization play on Plarium's end, because now we have to compete in all the events, in all the tournaments, in order to get these fragments to get the new champion. So the good news is the champion is really good. I think she's an A-tier champion in the game. The bad news is all the champions that you're saving for the next fusion are meaningless. At least it sounds that way. Now, it could be the case. I'm going to read you exactly verbatim what the Diamond said, and you guys can see if I'm missing something. It will be like our other fusions. You'll be able to earn fragments in a series of events and tournaments. The difference is that in fusions, you're fighting for needed champs as a reward. And here, the goal will be fragments. Yeah, that's exactly how you read it. It's fragments, straight up. Your existing champions are not going to help you one bit. Okay, so here's the deal, man. You guys know me. I really love this game. I'm not leaving the game. And I'm unabashedly, I'm not like embarrassed to say that. I'm not here to crap on this game. However, It's a clear, like I said, a monetization play from Plarium here. Now we have to partake in all these events, in all these tournaments, to make sure we win enough champion fragments. Are they going to be easy to get these fragments? Something tells me it's not going to be incredibly easy. You're going to have to pull a lot of champions or summons. There'll probably be a summoning event. You know, there's a lot of different events. We know them, all the dungeon events, Dragon, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, etc. Arena events. It's going to make you use a lot of energy at the very least. Probably have to invest in the game to be able to get these, to be able to get enough of these fragments. That's going to be my guess. I intend to do it. I think the champion's worth it, but I'm not shy in saying that I do spend money for my entertainment, and it is recouped by this YouTube channel, by the revenue here. So yes, I will be fusing this champion 100% using the fragments. It's up to you to decide if, depending on you see how difficult these events and these tournaments are going to be, to decide if you want to go for this champion. So the good news, again, a legendary champion. It looks like a really good legendary champion. The bad news is, are the old fusions gone forever? Quick couple things I want to end this video. A couple thoughts that I shared with Plarium directly a couple weeks ago, actually. Two things that I think, these sort of moves, in my opinion, are okay. The Drexthar in the Bazaar, if it's permanent, that's good. If there's going to be a fragment event, that's fine. But I really hope they hold on to the old fusions as well and just make them occur more often, A. And B, I want them to continue introducing really compelling rare champions to the game at the same time. We got Gravechill Killer, we got Frozen Banshee, even in Epic, which are more difficult to get, such as Stag Knight, such as Sepulchral Sentinel. Those are four great champions that were added to the game. I really look for them to continue to add very viable rare champions and epic champions via these fragment summons that are easily obtainable. What Plarium doesn't understand oftentimes, and who am I to tell, I'm sure they have data scientists up the you-know-what on the Plarium team. But at the same time, I feel like oftentimes they do play it a little bit more to the short-term strategy, Keep players, they focus on, in my opinion, the short-term player retention and in monetization strategy, and not realizing that when you give people a good rare champion for free, for example, it works great in the early game, the Kales and the War Maidens, and there's plenty of accessible good champions. They ought to continue to do that through the mid and the late game. They really should, because it keeps players playing longer, and over time they will spend more. I promise you, I've been doing this for almost 7 years, covering dozens of games. I was an influencer manager for years as well. So I know a little bit about this stuff and about human nature and psychology. And I think that they would actually stand to benefit more if they did give more nods to free-to-play. And even when I say free-to-play, it's really a catch-all for people who are just not whales spending thousands of dollars a month on this game. So those are my kind of closing thoughts here, guys. I'm still a fan of these champions. I'm a fan of the Bazaar move. I'm a fan of the Clan Boss fix, little stuff. And I'm looking forward to the Void Tower and the next patch after this. However, with all that said, I'm interested to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? I'll continue to advocate, as with all the other content creators who go to bat, kind of for the community for these issues. I hope they do listen, and I hope they do continue making positive changes, not just OP legendary champion for fragment changes inside the game. So guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.